Hi everybody, so it's probably been almost a year since I've done a Disney video. In this background I've been talking to my friends that I made at Disney, and we're saying how horrible we expect this June to be, just because I think it's June 2nd some people go out this summer, so that day is just going to be awful because it'll be a year almost to the day that I left. I left on June 3rd. Anyway, so today I'm here to do a video on how the Disney college program affected me emotionally and how it's changed my life. So to tell this story we need to go back in time just a little bit. So, way back when, high school, year 9, I found myself wondering if Disney World did work experience. At the time the idea seemed so far-fetched and out of reach. One thing is for sure, the minute I heard about it, I knew in the pit of my stomach that I had to do it. The only problem was I had to be in university to take part, meaning that this a seemingly amazing experience was at least 5 years out of my reach. Fast forward to my second year of uni, and I finally applied for the programme. Applications are open pretty much the majority of summer, and even though I was so excited, I almost managed to talk myself out of applying. And after a rather crappy day at uni, I mean, this was around the time where it was like my first lectures back, and my lecturers were already talking about final year major projects and everything, and I get stressed out and panicked very easily, and I just had a very bad day. And even though I felt in my heart that I would never ever get onto the programme, there was just a little voice in the back of my head that was saying, what have you got to lose? So in a little bit of a rush really, and about 2 hours before applications closed, I submitted my application to Yummy Jobs. So at the end of all that, I got my email saying that I've been invited to the group stage interview, which mine was on the 17th of October, I think. And I still don't think that my group interview went that well. I still think that I honestly don't know how I got past that stage. What we had to do was take these documents that had job roles and available dates and all that kind of thing on it, and it had a massive space at the bottom for them to write comments down about you as you went through your group interview, because it was like a circle time thing. So when I would be answering questions, my interviewer Nick, he would just look at me, sort of smile, nod his head, write something down, whereas other people he was having conversations with them and, you know, interacting with them a little bit. So I was just sat there thinking, oh my god, why isn't he asking me anything? What have I done wrong? And I pretty much left my group interview in tears, convinced that I just screwed up my chances and that there was absolutely no way that they were gonna accept me onto the programme. I cried and cried and cried because even though I felt like I had no chance of getting on, it was something that I really wanted and I'd always dreamed of doing. I got an email inviting me to the final interview stage, and I was so stunned, completely. I felt a sense of pride, a bit of confusion because I clearly hadn't read the situation right, and then unbelievable excitement and nerves, because if you've read anything about the Disney ICP, it's that the final interviews are at Disney HQ in London. That has to be the most nerve-wracking thing that I'd ever done up to that point. But something inside of me just clicked, and I realised that the only person standing in my way of being successful at this interview was me. And I think what helped me come to that was them telling us we have 10 minutes to sell ourselves, so don't leave the interview wishing that you had said something else. And that really stuck with me. And for the first time in a long time, I actually felt confident and sure of myself, that I knew what I wanted to say and what I wanted my recruiter to know when she interviewed me. And it really is 10 minutes, and even though it sounds like a lot, it goes so fast, and before you know it, you haven't said everything you wanted to say, and it's time for you to leave, and they're going to make the decision based on what you've told them, and you feel like you need to tell them something more. So I made sure that I left that interview with no regrets. I even said to my family after my final interview that I was going to get onto the programme. Now I know that sounds really cocky. I had no regrets about my final interview. I'd said everything I wanted to say. There was nothing more I could have done to convince them to take me. And if I didn't get onto the programme that year, then I just wasn't what they were looking for, and I would be okay with that because there was nothing more I could have done to convince them. And about a month later, on December 3rd, I got my acceptance email. And I think I went through a range of emotions on that day. Because the wait had been so long, our Facebook group was really active for the programme, so we'd been talking like, has anyone heard anything? Do we know anything? And we'd heard a few murmurings that people who hadn't been successful had already been emailed, but I think only about 3 people told us that, so we couldn't really be sure if that was true. We all made an agreement that nobody at all was going to post anything in the Facebook group until that email came through. So when you open up your email and you see that from Walt Disney Recruiting, it's like, and you just don't know what to do. You sort of freeze in shock, and it's like, oh my god, what do I do now? And the first thing I did was tell everybody I got my email, and then I said that I'd been accepted just so they knew what I meant. I think then I started to shake. And I started to ring people. I rang my dad and my mum and my sister, and I told them I'd been accepted, and then I posted a status on Facebook and on Twitter, and I thanked the Yummy Jobs recruiters and everything on Twitter. And then I started to celebrate. I had When You Wish Upon a Star blasting pretty much all night. I can't really express to you what it feels like to have your dream come true, and I managed to make my dream come true. It's like what Tiana's father says to her in The Princess and the Frog. You wish and you dream all you want, but that old star can only take you part of the way. You gotta help it along with some hard work of your own, and then you can do anything you set your mind to. So once we've been accepted, we were accepted on December 3rd. My leaving date was June 3rd, so that was exactly 6 months to go. I started making friends with some people on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We wanted to get our roommates together. There was 6 of us at the beginning. It was Rachel and Beka to start off with. They invited me to join them. Then it was Lisa, Megan and Ainsley. We all were just the 6 of us that wanted to live together when we got to Disney. About a week, it was about 10 days to a week to go. We got our dorms email, and we were only allowed to select one other person to live with, and I think we were all a bit sad and in shock. So about 5 days before we were leaving, I got an email and she asked me for all our names and our dorms ID numbers, and said she would see what she could do, and that was it. We were all sort of congregating at Manchester Airport But I got there and I couldn't stop the tears. My mum and dad were there to see me off, and I think I spent at least 5-10 minutes hugging them and saying goodbye and trying to hold back the tears as I left them behind and went through security. So when we arrived, there was about 7 of us, got a shuttle bus to the Vista Way Welcome Centre. Me, Lisa, Beka and Rachel were all on the same flight. Megan and Ainsley were on a flight from London and got in about an hour or so after us, so we realised we all had the same apartment number, 13101. So we dumped our stuff in the apartment and decided to go to Walmart, and we met Chloe. At the apartment, she is obviously one of the girls that I became friends with because we lived with her. And we told her, don't tell them who it is, just tell them we've gone to Walmart to get something for tea. But Lisa, who hung up her bows on her pinboard, gave the game away. Ainsley and Megan recognised them and they knew that it was us. So I remember them telling us that they were like, look for groups of 4 in Walmart because they wanted to go to Walmart too. And we did actually bump into them in the middle of Walmart. The first couple of days, the first 2 weeks in fact, were really rough for me. I was missing home a lot. I felt up in the air and out of place because for the first week we didn't really have a proper schedule. We were doing all the social security, housing meetings, work meetings, training, so it wasn't a proper schedule and I felt like I was all over the place and I needed a routine so I could settle in. At the Plaza Ice Cream Parlour in Magic Kingdom, in direct view of Cinderella Castle. And because I was a CP, I was working nights, so I saw Celebrate the Magic and Wishes every single night. I loved my workplace. I loved the people I worked with. I loved seeing little kids' faces as I handed them the Mickey Mouse ice cream, which had little chocolate buttons as ears. It was, even though it was work, it didn't feel like work. I think there was maybe one night somewhere in the middle of the programme where all 8 of us were in the apartment at the same time, and about 5 minutes later we all went to bed because we were so tired. I remember one night we went swimming and it was lightning outside, which probably wasn't smart, but whatever. Working at Disney is a whole other ball game. It's hard work, it's unsociable hours, but you make friends that just understand you. They are your DFAM, your Disney family. You'll have good days and bad days, there'll be people you don't like, but at the end of it all, you don't remember the bad stuff. You only remember the good stuff. You don't remember how you were routinely scheduled to mop the floors or how you hated doing freezers. You just remember the friends you made and the fun you had and the smiles you put on children's faces. We're still very active in our Facebook message, and we recently, I say recently, it was the end of January, about half of us, about 5 or 6 of us, met up in Manchester, and it was the first time we'd all seen each other since the programme, and we just clicked right back into place. It was like we hadn't spent any time apart at all, and it was so strange because it had been at least like 5 months since we'd last seen each other, and it didn't even feel like it. It just felt like yesterday. The Disney Cultural Exchange Programme, International College Programme, was the best thing I ever did. I'm a different person and it changed my life. I will never, ever kick the Disney bug. It will always be a part of me from now on. All I can say to you, if you are watching this as someone who is preparing to go out to Disney, or somebody who wants to apply but is too scared or too frightened, just do it. You won't regret it. The only thing you will regret is that you didn't get to stay longer. You'll create a bucket list and you probably won't get to do half the things on that bucket list. You'll be sat there and some days thinking, oh my god, why am I here? Because the work hours are long and the work is hard. But because you're only there 2 or 3 months, once you're settled in, it's almost time to leave again, and because you know you're leaving soon, you're almost ready to go home, even though you're only there for such a short amount of time. And even though you're like, oh, I can't wait to go home, the minute you get home, all you want to do is go back. Like I said at the beginning of this video, seeing people I know someone from college, I know a couple of people from college and some people from primary school and some people I know from my program who are all going this summer, and just watching them go through their interviews, getting accepted, doing their visa stuff. It's so hard to watch, and as happy as for them as I am that they're getting to experience what I did, I'm jealous, and I wish it was me that was going back. I would never have made some of the best friends ever. The 8 girls I lived with, Beka, Rachel, Ainsley, Megan, Lisa, Chloe, Laura, my friends at work, Mariah, Shay, Leah, Logan, Dakota, all of you who worked at the ice cream parlour and made my experience what it was. But ultimately, and I know this sounds really cheesy, we took a picture on our last day with the Walt Disney statue at Hollywood Studios, because at the end of it all, the experience of a lifetime that we all had that summer would never have been possible without one man and one mouse. I only wish that I could relive it all over again. I said I wouldn't get emotional, but I think you could try and explain it to people who don't have the Disney book, or people who have never been on the program, but they will never understand. You've had the experience and the adventure of a lifetime. If you're one of those people who is considering taking part in the Disney College program, the Disney International program, the Cultural Representative program, whatever it may be, just do it. You won't regret it. I promise. And to my friends and the people I know who are going out there this summer, have the best time of your life. Experience everything and savour every second, because before you know it, it'll be over, and you don't want to look back and feel like you wasted any time. Even though when you do look back, all you will remember is the good times. Work may have been hard, and extra magic hours may have turned into extra tragic hours, but at the end of it all, you'll only remember the good times that you had and the memories that you made while you were there. So that's it for today. And I'm not sure if I'll be back to do any more Disney videos. I hope I will, but we'll see how it goes. So from Mickey and me, bye for now.